All right, more Tomb Kings from Malzeno versus Muri. So Malzeno, also known as Iskander, is wondering if there's appetite out there for a tournament using large armies. So to kind of test run that, they asked me to do a couple videos on some lobbies they hosted with randos. And Murray didn't feel like taking a caster. It's a big no-no. You always need a caster. It's always worth it. Always bring a caster. Unless you're Norska. Then what? Not Norska. Unless you're Khorne. Then sure, fine. Rest of you, bring caster. Dwarves, also get a pass. For these larger armies, we have a front line of skeleton spears backed up by Tomb Guard. And then Tomb Guard halberds, so a lot of elite, well, elite by Khemri standards, elite units. Chosen the Gods of Ushapti Greatbow ROR, backed up by another Ushapti regular. Then we have two Sparkle Stalkers, one which is as the desert. We have a Screaming Skull Catapult. We have two Necropolis Knights, Necars and Skeleton Horsemen, and then double Kitty Cat in Cetra and the Necro Sphinx ROR, Sphinx Usef. On the other side for Bretonnia, very wide build, very wide. We have some Skirmish Cavalry, 4 of them. Pegasus Knights in the sky, then all of the men-at-arms you could possibly imagine. Pole arms, regular, spears, foot squires, archers, and I thought I saw some battle pilgrims in there in the loading screen. Yes, some battle pilgrims as well, including the Holy Wardens of La Mastia. Leading them is Rapunzel on horseback. A decent amount of her self buffs. And we have a Grail Relic for some leadership. In the background, do have 4 Blessed Field Trebs. Nope, 1 is regular. 3 Blessed Field Trebs. And then we have some more elite knights, Knights of the Lionhearted, and then Companions of Quenelles. And I think there's a Grail Knight somewhere in here. Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis, there's a Grail Knight. But without healing, the Knights will have a much harder time. Companions of Quenelles using their anti-large and armor piercing on Cetra right now, but there's a reason that that cat is so tanky. His model is not as big as you would assume, and it has a hard time getting fully surrounded. And even when it's surrounded, it can just push its way out. So he's doing just fine. Then with Usirion's Incantation of Vengeance and some Overwatch Fire, some Sparkle Stalkers, he's actually going to kill off the Companions of Quenelles. And that unit in general, I know it's not surrounding him very well right now, but the Companions of Quenelles are one of those units that just looks really good on paper, and for some reason always sucks whenever I bring it. They just kind of suck and die. And they're doing a lot of sucking and dying right now, as the second cat has arrived, and they're going to be running for the hills very soon. Tomb King's front line moving up. 1 Scream Skull Catapult cannot outduel 4 Field Trebuchets, which are actually currently focusing on the Ushapti and getting some decent damage in. Oh my god. I would not have expected that kind of damage coming out of Field Trebs versus monstrous weapons teams. A little shocking. So we do have flanking knights, Pegasus Knights, Knights, Lionhearted, killing off some random skeleton horsemen to save the skirmish cav, but also to get onto the Tomb King's backline. Speaking of backlines, though, the Bretonnian one might be open for business soon. We do have Grail Knights and Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis trying to keep the Trebs firing, but Cetra and the Big Cat are almost through your infantry front line. They could just beeline it straight for the Blessed Field Trebs if they wanted to. We'll have to see how the Bretonnian forces on their flank can get some work done. Meanwhile, the Bretonnian infantry overload of the left flank is going pretty well. They're not killing a ton of zombies very quickly, but they're winning overall as Scream Skull Catapult's getting some good shots on the Beast Slayer of the Vast Stone. Ow, that is a lot of damage. Necropolis Knights on the left being held, while on the right they are helping Cetra now fight the Grail Knights, and the Grail Knights did not get a charge. They got charged, and it looks like they're fighting near enemy skeleton spearmen, so overall it's going very poorly for the Grail Knights. Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis soak Usirion's Incantation of Vengeance. The Grail Knights are left to their own devices, just kind of solo fighting, but yeah, it's fighting on top of enemy spears, so they're really not getting a lot of damage out. They probably need to pull back. Still the Trebs fire, and their impressive early damage has fallen off significantly against these Ushapti. These Ushapti have been relatively as healthy the last 3 times I've looked at them, so that is a bit unfortunate. The wheels do seem to be falling off for the Bretonnians. They snuck back and killed the Screaming Skull Catapult, but still, it's going a bit rough. Rapunzel is going to join her Grail Knights and offer some extra stats, a little bit more damage. Blinding Cetra, lowering his leadership, not leadership, his melee defense, melee attack, and she just sprints back in after him. She ain't giving up for nothing. Bretonnian infantry support is here. Blessed Trebs trying to hit the massive Sphinx. And we are getting a couple shots in on it here and there. Necropolis Knight's going to charge back in, though the Grill Knights are now routing, leaving Rapunzel all on her own. Skirmish Cavalry for Bretonnia is falling back. Still getting shot at by those Chosen the Gods and the regular Shopped Great Bows, which again have been at that relative HP for quite a while at this point. Now Carl Horsemen shutting down the Blessed Field Trebs, get countercharged by the Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis, but they seem to be getting what they need to get done. Cetra is also trying to stop those Trebs from firing for a little bit. Knights of the Lionhearted back in the fight once more, but they're getting hit with their own Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance. Necropolis Knights taking a lot of damage, but so far hanging in there. And I don't think the Knights of the Lionhearted will be saying the same for much longer. They're going to get routing any second now. Terror Rout will take them soon. Blessed Field Treb, the crew did not remount, but they got new attack orders, so they did wander into melee with Cetra. That's a bit of a whoopsie, but with an extra large battle, there can be some more mistakes like that. Treb still firing away at Cetra and the other large cat. Rapunzel is still pretty healthy, which is nice. Good for her. Peasants fighting a lot of skeletons here and there on the battlefield. The skeletons actually seem to be getting the upper hand overall, even though while they're outnumbered, it's just their better leadership is helping them out quite a bit more. As Rapunzel continues to duel with Cetra, we do have defenders continue to charge around. I feel like I'm talking about the defenders a lot. They've been all over this map. Still not getting amazing value, but paying for themselves at least. And they kill last skeleton horseman, keep this field trebuchet safe, and it is still online and firing, so we know that it won't accidentally wander into melee. We also have another Blessed Field Treb still up and capable of firing. Double Kitty Cat's falling back now, running away from Rapunzel, which looks a little funny, but she does need to be careful about overextending with no support, and it looks like she's going to get punished for that right about now. Without all the chaos of all the peasants and skeletons and other crap in the way, it is pretty easy for these cats to get good contact on Rapunzel, and she's currently getting her ass handed to her. Tomb Guard Halberds moving up, going to push off Men-at-Arms. Rapunzel still swinging back, but looking around for support. There really isn't any. A full health Necropolis Knight rolling around. A lot of Tomb Guard left. Honestly, this balance of power, I think, is a little fraudulent in favor of the Bretonnians. It looks on the ground a lot worse for them than that's indicating. Rapunzel's still getting messed up. She's going to rout soon. Cetra and the cat continue to beat her up. Speaking of cat, my kitty cat's attacking me. Hi, kitty cat. Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis get Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance while they try and charge in and save Rapunzel. They're also going to get side charged by Necropolis Knights and shot by Sepulchral Stalkers. That is probably the death of maybe the unit I've had to say its name the most during this replay, but they are gone now. That is a dead unit. Bounces still suck. So the bounce power is now pretty far in the Tomb King's favor, but I'm like, where was the strength coming from? And I just don't know. I guess it's the archer's ammunition? I guess. Rapunzel is about to rout. There she goes. I don't know if the Tomb Kings are going to let her come back, but they may not have the speed to keep up with her, as Tomb Guard have made their way back to the Blessed Field Trebs. Men-at-Arms are trying to peel them, but that's a tall task for some Men-at-Arms to kill even a wounded Tomb Guard in any relatively quick fashion to save the Trebuchet. Two healthy Sepulchral Stalkers, a healthy Necropolis Knight should be enough to carry this game, even with Cetra quite injured. And Tomb Guard to continue to push forward. There's just really no hope for Bretonnia at this point. I think army losses is coming soon. The cats are trying to chase Rapunzel, but she's gaining distance. Like I said, she is actually faster than them when they don't have their charge animation going. Army losses hits now, though. Tanya's spent. Remember, kids, bring a caster and don't try and 1v2 cats with Rapunzel. Not gonna work. For Iskander, his double cats did pretty well. Tomb Guard did their jobs, just slowly grinding forward through infinite peasants. And then Necropolis Knights did okay. Sepulchral Stalkers didn't honestly do that much. And Ushop did fine. Scream Skull did well. For Muri, Rapunzel didn't do badly. Peasants didn't do badly. They didn't do great, but they didn't do badly. Archers did fine. Knights, more mixed. Overall, not ideal for them. So I think the Trebs are going to be most of our winners here. Yeah, Trebs brought some real value. All right, GG's. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.